Well, hello, fellow hobbler. Sit back and let me tell you a tale. A tale you probably remember. I like to call it Board of the Kings. It all started over 100 years ago when a tribe called the Slutskys built an inn on the land now known as the Mire. They called it the Nevele, taken from the name of a nearby waterfall dubbed Nevele Falls. 11 school teachers found it and decided to take the word 11 and spell it backwards. This passed for clever wit back then. No one knows their names or even what school they hailed from. The Slutskys obviously didn't care. They were probably goyim anyway. All of this happened during a time when manual labor was still very much a part of everyday life. The elder Slutsky siblings actually plowed fields, picked crops, milked cows. Too bad they weren't black. They would have gotten an extra acre and a mule. The Slutskys gradually built their mire into an empire. People came from all around to see the great wonders that Nevele offered. People were easily impressed in those days. Success seemed assured until what turned out to be their last generation. The mire's deed was split among 4 sons, 3 of which, Richard, David, and Jeff, born of Julius, they had to split 50%, while Charles II, born of Charles I, got 50% all to himself. Well, this caused much jealousy and resentment. Things got even more complicated when Charles suddenly passed away at a very young age. It didn't matter because he had been rolling in his grave for years, even before he died. Instead of burying him, his wife had him melted down for parts. And that left the 3 brothers in charge. David was a true glad hand, who would fake sincerity with the best of them. Richard wore a cloak of invisibility, appearing only to stick his hands in the till and then vaporize back into the mist. And finally there was Jeff, a pseudo-intellectual whose taste in art was a cross between Jackson Pollock and the Jetsons. Joan, Charles' wife, had no say in the business matters. But she would soon have her revenge by marrying a would-be Guido Goodfella named George. To this day, people still sing this old folk song. Well, come and listen to my story about a man named George. Short Italian slob, always kept his ego gorged. And then one day he was drinking all alone, when across from the bar he saw a woman named Joan. Slutsky, that is. Jew gold, hotel free. Well, the first thing you know, he's in everybody's hair. The Slutskys said, "George, do you really care? All you ever do is drink vodka heavily and destroy the reputation of our Nevele." Trash, that is. No more guests. Compact cars. Well, now it's time to say goodbye to George and his hotel, a place where all the phonies like Kasim get treated well. But soon Mr. K will be back upon his knees when George sells his shares to some wealthy Japanese. Nevele hillbillies. That's what they really are. Dumb folk. Never come back, hear? Ah, what a catchy tune that was. You may have noticed that there was a mention in that little bluegrass chanty about a man called Kasim. But he was not a man. He was the original Phantom Menace. No one knew what he did, why he was there, or his reason for existing at all. He must have had some serious dirt on the Slutsky tribe, because I have no idea why they would be worried, though. By the 80th decade, they brought out their protractors and drew their own inner circles. Everyone outside of those circles knew they were full of crap, and they were surrounded by a moat of even more crap. And for a tribe with known for their big noses, you'd think they get a whiff every now and then. Of course, the Slutskys couldn't run their empire without a staff of underlings. First line of defense were the warlords, otherwise known as management. For many a year, a sage named Buckwalter wandered the grounds, keeping order in the universe. Of course, the younger Slutskys thought that wasn't good enough and replaced him with a drone named Bobby Van. He had his nose so far up in the air, you could come to work without wearing shoes and he wouldn't have noticed. The van eventually quit and was replaced by someone who couldn't even manage a single greenhouse on a Monopoly board. And then there were those who ran the House of Entertainment, otherwise known as the Stardust Room. You had MC Norman Lee, who actually released an album called Kiss Me Twice. That's because he knew there would never be a third time. And Barry Fox, the elaborate seatmeister. His wife used to babysit my neighbor. True. He power drilled a hole through the bathroom wall for a hormone-fueled peep show. Not my proudest moment. And I can't leave the Stardust Room without mentioning Jeff Krolik, musical hack. He had yellow hair, a yellow car, a yellow wife. If he were a state, the state bird would be a canary. Now let's take a look at a random sampling of other Slutsky underlings. Hector, keeper of the law. He had the perfect name whose main purpose in life was to be a giant pain in the ass. One day he pulled a Barney Fife and accidentally shot himself. Aaron Parrots dubbed him Bagelfoot, the only clever line Aaron ever came up with. Ah yes, Aaron Parrots, the eldest son of a very disturbing tribe of incestuous perverts. They didn't need to have sex with second cousins because they had such a huge litter of first cousins to choose from. And Aaron's best friend was Jamie Finch, a relationship I've never figured out as to who got the better deal. Jamie was a born loser. To this day, I believe Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas because Jamie bet on Tyson. And then there was a piano player. We had a piano player who played piano in the lobby before dinner time. A very old black man, and he used to wear a yellow suit. I swear to God, he looked like a rotten banana. Then there's Jack Brino, one of the lesser-known names. He was in charge of our championship golf course. I remember the most difficult 18th hole. It had both a windmill and a clown's nose. And then there was the food. Jewish maitre d', illegal immigrant servers, Chinese cooks, and a strange fascination with gay black people dishing it all up. Spatch, Lucky, they would have been happy seeing knockwurst every night. As a matter of fact, I think they did, it just wasn't on the menu. And I'd mentioned Keith Bittner, but he was so vague I'm not sure he really existed. Could have been a dream. He was kept happy and whipped by an 80s big hair refugee from a Dokken video called Elena. It was the only time I saw a pair of Ken and Barbie dolls come to life. There were many more underlings, like the troll in the basement who did the laundry, but why bother? The Nevelly's no more, and these are just memories. You, my fellow hobbler, and I had a lot of laughs. And I do have to give reluctant credit to the one whose name I will not speak of. The man who stole fire from Prometheus and has been trying to put out his pants ever since. He introduced us over a slop dinner of leftovers and who knows what else. We shared a sense of humor, and that empathy continues to this day. We started young and now we're hobblers. But we hobblers must stick together. And I hope my little tale today brought a smile to your face. It's the least I could do for such a dear friend. 10-9, good buddy. Happy birthday. Over and out.
If a line for fun, it just goes on and on. At some overgrown mountain marathon, it was up to you, but you should have gone to the Neverly. It's a place to go with your family, or when the two of you want some privacy, where you feel at home and you're glad to be at the Neverly. At the Neverly. You can play all day or lie beside the pool.
You know the greatest food and service is the rule.
At the Neverly, there's so much to do, or don't do a thing. People do that too. You can have